All right, YouTube, good morning. It is a beautiful 4th of March 2026. And as I prepare to share you the football predictions and analysis for today's matches, YouTube, I want you to pay close attention because I have ensured that every single part of the video is going to play an important role, right, in the long run when it comes to you and your sports betting career, sports betting journey, sports betting life. So please pay close attention, all right? And before you get rolling, let me let you know that you will be receiving 3.04 odds. At the same time, you're going to be receiving 2.4 odds. And finally, 3.1 odds for today. And so it is an indication that the games you're about to have a look at are properly sourced, all right, and analyzed by the one and only master better, all right? So you're watching this video for the very first time, get to take account of that, right? At the same time, YouTube, there is something I need to specifically address, all right? And I want to anchor back to when I began sports betting, all right? So technically, it is me telling you a story, all right? So I began sports betting in the year 2016. And the reality was when I started betting, things like YouTube wasn't really a big part of sports betting, all right? So if you wanted to get predictions, you had to go to betting sites, search for betting tips, and most of them were full of garbage. Most of them were full of just nonsense that makes you lose money in the long run, all right? So it was very, very hard for you to win football because you are new to the game. At the same time, you don't really know exactly what you're supposed to do, what games you're supposed to bet on. So I had no option, all right? I had no option. I had to start reading blogs. I had to start seeking content. And over time, I have gotten to know what works and what doesn't work. And that is why every single time, I always ensure that I share you sports betting strategies. Because at the end of the day, if there is one thing that is always constant, all right? And if there is one thing that will forever be constant in sports betting, football betting is a risky venture, all right? And there is no guarantee you're going to get success, especially when you are doing it alone, all right? That is why you need to be using strategies that have been tested before, that at least they can make you something consistently, all right? And talking about that, YouTube, there is a new video I did yesterday, free football betting strategy for 2026, all right? And it is a strategy that I want you to proceed and watch right now. Proceed and watch it. There's going to be a link in the pinned comment section. There's going to be a link in the video description. There's going to be a link somewhere, all right, in the pinned comment section. Just click on it, watch the video, and after watching the video, it is going to be my intention to see you utilizing the betting strategy as explained in the video. The 4-figure football strategy, the best way and the easiest way to move from a losing sports bettor to someone who is winning consistently. Picture this, for example. Today as you watch this video, you're losing 4 times a week. When you get to watch this video, you're going to up the numbers, all right? You're going to minimize the losing bets and you're going to increase the winning bets. So in a week, you will be winning 6 over 7 times, for example. Look at that. And if you do that over a long period of time, then gradually you're going to be able to generate the profits we are talking about, and you're going to be able to win big betting on football, right? Now, with that being said, YouTube, I also want to share you something. Yesterday, I'm aware I did not post a video, all right? Have a look at these 7 odds, for example, that was able to win. 7.22 odds. Cobresal, all right? Have a look at these. Bet slip, all right? Club Huracan, right? Doncaster, right? Burnley, all right? Rotherham, right? It was a bet slip made up of 6 matches, giving us 7.22 odds. And in the video I shared yesterday, I talked about having these kind of bets and having these kind of accumulator bets is the best way to utilize the 4-figure football betting strategy. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Must Better, how am I going to be in a position to access the 7 odds, for example, the one you won yesterday? The video specifically explains to you, all right, with clarity, with zero confusion, and you can proceed and get to utilize the betting strategy without, confusing yourself, without stumbling over and falling, and without wasting money on scammers, all right? With that being said, YouTube, let us now get into today's video, and I want you to tell me must beta. I am going to be watching the video, and in case you're watching the video for the very first time, I want to welcome you to the Real Must Beta YouTube channel. Subscribe to a Real Must Beta on YouTube. Football predictions and betting tips today. Welcome to the Real Must Beta. Right? Awesome. Incredible. Perfecto. Our very first game today is made up of simple games. Manchester City, Nottingham Forest. Manchester City win the game. Aberdeen playing Celtic. Celtic win the game. Alkmaar playing Telstar. Alkmaar win the game. A total of 3 games in total, giving us 3.141 odds. All right? Now, let us hold on for a moment and have a flashback. Yesterday, we had 4 Premier League matches. Wolves, for example, annihilated Liverpool. All right? And this is what I'm telling you. Betting on these big teams over and over and over again today in football betting is proven to make you a loser in the long run. Right? Betting on these big teams, right? Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, name them. Manchester United, Chelsea. I don't know which big team you know of. But the reality is that these teams nowadays play irresponsible football, right? And they're losing consistently. I was reading a blog yesterday and having a look at these most successful football beta went ahead and acquired a team from, is it Castellon? A team from Spain, whatever, that won and was promoted. And in one of his articles, he stated that, football betting has changed. And football owners nowadays really don't care about winning promotions. They care about money, right? So there is money that they are making. And that is why it is very hard for us sports bettors today to be consistently be in a position to win on the likes of Manchester City, all these big fancy names. There is a world behind football betting curtains that you do not know of. So as I tell you this, have a look at, for example, the bet slip that we won yesterday, all right? This bet slip we won yesterday. Now, do you see any big name here? Cobb Wrestle, double chance. Club Huracan, double chance. Stockport, double chance. Wycombe, double chance. Rotherham, Mansfield, double. There isn't really a big name in this bet slip, all right? And it was a winning bet slip. And those are the things I talk about in this betting strategy video. And if you really want to improve your scenarios and your chances of winning in football betting, then you're not going to ignore these. I know some of you love ignoring it because you think you know all. And the reality is, if you knew all, you wouldn't be watching me this morning, right? Not to brag, but I'm telling you the reality, because if I don't tell you the reality, you're going to feel pampered and you're going to feel, there is a terminology I'm looking for, right? You're lucky I am not able to recall that. However, YouTube, let us proceed with our predictions for today. Our second bet slip today, we have 2.48 odds, all right? Hamburger, Bayer Leverkusen win or draw. CSK Sofia versus Botev, Vradzava, CSK Sofia win, all right? And finally, we have Lugano Sion, Lugano win or draw. Craiova Cluj, Craiova win or draw. There are 4 matches, 2.4 odds. Now, YouTube, it is time to have a look at our last bet slip today, made up of 3.045 odds. And before I get to share you that, please, YouTube, if you're watching this video for the very first time, all right, there is always a part I tell you that this is your responsibility. This is your duty. This is your, role in the Must Beta family. Like the video, turn on notifications, and above all, ensure that when the next video is posted, you come watch the video, because I ensure that the predictions I share you are going to help you, all right? Make sports betting easier. Because remember, at the end of the day, YouTube, sports betting is already difficult, all right? Football betting is already risky. Football betting is already dangerous, right? It has ruined a lot of lives, right? It has sent so many people to the village, right? It has made so many people, right, be depressed, miserable, right? And that is why people like me exist, to change the narrative by teaching you proper strategies, by giving you the right set of information, the right set of knowledge, right? And equip you properly. So remember that. Our last bet slip YouTube, we have 3.04 odds. Rayo Vallecano versus Real Oviedo. Rayo Vallecano win or draw. Lorient playing nice. Lorient win or draw. And finally, a game from Greek Super League. PAOK win the game. And then Lazio versus Atalanta. Atalanta win or draw. All right? Take note of that, YouTube. That is our last bet slip today, made up of 4 games, 3.045 odds. Now, before we end the video, the new video is live. Link in the pinned comment. Free football betting strategy for beginners. Your best way to proceed and win big in 2026, all right? With that being said, YouTube, I want you to join us inside Telegram, because inside our Telegram channel during the day, I do share parlays that I find interesting, all right? That I find very lovely. I know most of them have not been performing as expected. Yeah, the odds are ridiculous. 800 odds, 1,000 odds, right? Picture these, for example. When is the last time you won 1,000 odds? So it is a side quest that I just find to be fun, because it promises bigger returns with a very little amount of stake. So it is a side quest that I proceed with inside our Telegram channel. If you want to be a part of it, get yourself over there. You're welcome. And of course, invite your friends, tell them Masked Beta is having a very fancy side quest that one day is going to turn into profit, right? If you feel it is risky, my friend, my brother, there is always an option of double chance. 1x, 2x, over 1.5, over 3.5. Do not come here and start spewing your garbage all over, because that is the last thing I do tolerate, all right? I spend so much time immersed in the world of football betting. As I told you yesterday, there is something I am working on, all right? The holy commandments, or the holy constitution of football betting, that I expect to be dropping later sometime this month, specifically 28th March 2026. So, as I told you, there's a lot in store, all right? And one of you yesterday was asking me, Masked Beta, why don't you proceed and do this? I did not reply you, all right? Because I realized that your question is redundant, right? And your question is an example of ignorance. All the questions that you do have are answered inside the Masked Beta YouTube channel. All the concerns that you do have are answered inside the Masked Beta strategy videos. And of course, if you do have an extra question, then you can always DM me on Instagram or Masked Beta, my account. And if you're lucky enough, I will be able to get your message in time, right, and provide you the solution you're seeking. Until then, YouTube, I want to wish you the very best. Get after it. And as always, remember, sports betting, football betting involves risk, right? Bet responsibly, right? And this video is not a guarantee that your predictions today are going to win, right? Till next time, do not forget I told you, get the strategy video in the pinned comment section. It is very, very much important. And above all, join us inside Telegram. Take care.